Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another one of these session videos. I'm doing this one during the day, so you're going to hear my son a lot more. He's not asleep. He's in the room, but you're probably going to hear him. But, yeah, I'm about to head over to my new job. I actually got a new job for people that were wondering. So I have a couple hours before that, so I thought, why not? Let's do another one of these. But we're going to be going over dev replies, and we have a lot of dev replies from Mexico, which, as you can see, doesn't have the tag anymore for developer, but it's still posting quite a bit. So, yeah, let's see what he has to say. But alrighty, first we have a player on the beta 1.6.1 patch notes thread. We have a player asking, and then we have him responding. Alrighty, so didn't mean to click on that. Alright, so the player says, yes, trading is much easier since the hotfix buying low-cost goods from towns that have villages that produce the goods is really low, and towns that don't have these good, have those good, their prices have stayed somewhat the same. This is exactly what I asked Heralds to do 6 months ago. Grain shouldn't be 6 to 8 for the entire map. There needed to be a wider range of prices, and the hotfix on the 9 did exactly that. My last test, I got 300 trade in, I think it was 646 days. I'm not sure. I will tear that up now. Okay. Alright, so he says, let me explain the change a bit. Okay. So I'm guessing it has to do with food prices and just overall general prices throughout the map being a little bit more diversified. So he says that hotfix, I can't read today, included a change done in mid-July. Only one constant is changed at item price calculations, and it is increased to 0.6 from 0.5. Okay. Can see that their change constant is by looking differences. This change increased variety of prices, variety at prices, so items can now be a bit cheaper where they are produced. Okay, so they changed just one constant, and I'm guessing that constant kind of like sways the number a bit when it comes to price, and therefore what he's saying pretty much is like where it's produced, it's going to be the cheapest, and then I'm guessing the farther away from where it's produced, it's going to be going to cost more. Then he says, however, this also decreased profit for workshops. Okay, profit decrease can be around 20 to 30%, so it will be hard to find workshops with 200 dinar daily profits, because price of output items of workshop are also now cheaper. For example, price of beer where breweries are producing beer is now cheaper, so workshops profits are decreased. However, trading caravans are now a bit more profitable. Interesting. And this is something that I was actually talking about previously. Like when people say, oh, it's a very bare bones game, this and that, you gotta like, just by this explanation you can see that, like, just because the price changed here, that changed how workshops work in nearby towns. That changed how caravans work. All that stuff just changed immediately. All these different functionalities just because of one constant change from 0.6 to 0.5. All of that changed just because of that, which is crazy if you think about it. But it just shows how interconnected the game actually is and how all the things come together. While they're not shown to the player and while it might look bare bones, there's a lot of intricacy in it, and even the smallest little tinkering of just a constant, something like this can happen. So he says you can discuss if this new version is better or not compared to old versions, and if you do not like effects, that constant can be decreased to 0.5 again, and the constant can be done 0.55 between two versions. Okay. Alrighty, and we're back. Just had to deal with that real quick. But alrighty, so we left off right over here. By the way, poor lords have issue have no connection with this change. Okay, so their poor lords are not affected by this. Yes, taxes are 20% decreased at 1.6.1, and reason was there was money inflation, but this is a minor change, and also previous versions poor lords ratio was also high. You can say if poor lords ratio was high, how there was money inflation? Answer is money is not distributed evenly at Bannerlord. Some clans gain too much while some others suffer. Solution of this can be giving new passive incomes to clans like workshops or small fixed cheat money. If they lose their own settlements, they go to poverty. I think that's what he meant to say. Fast, or if they only own 1 to 2 castles, or if they have too much active parties at map, because they all have expenses like food and wages. Okay. And he says he heard that another dev will make some examinations, and if total Lord money at world decreases by time in long term, taxes can be increased 20% again in later patches. There is a constant at tax calculation which is currently at 0.3, making it 0.36, will increase taxes by 20%. Okay, so the thing about increasing the taxes back 20%, because it was already decreased at 1.6.1, so technically it will kind of go back to what it was. Then he states, at first patches, this constant was 0.2. By time was increased to 0.36, and the final value is 0.3. Prosperity of a castle or town is multiplied by this to find tax income of the settlements. Okay, actually, a new feature can be a good addition. And owner decides that constant between 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So if tax is high, loyalty can be affected badly, and if tax is low, extra loyalty to that town is added daily. The other developer that he mentioned right here has talked about this as well, this addition to taxes, and I think it's a good addition. I think it should be added. I think it adds a little bit more control, and if it's explained good, if there's some good tool tips, I think it'll be very, very good. It's a small fix, but again, a lot of small fixes make for very good changes overall. Alrighty. Now let's see what else he has to say, because he said a lot over here. You can see a lot of different stuff was said over here. So let's get right to it. Alrighty, boys. I literally just took like a day break from recording. I said I was going to be right back, and it just did not happen. But listen, I don't know exactly where we were on, but I'm just going to continue it from the last post we did, this one right over here. Let me just quickly go over it just so I can see exactly what it was. Okay, so this was the tax... what's it called? Changes that he talked about, and also what's it called? Yeah, the concept that was changed, that changed a lot of stuff in terms of the economy as well. Okay, now moving on, we're gonna go over all of these as well, and that probably should take up the majority of this video. So let's do it. This is the first one. I already pulled it up. We have a player with a lot. We're probably gonna just read a couple sentences, see if we can figure this out. But alright, we have a player, and then we have a response, obviously from Mexico. He is a no longer a dev, but obviously he still has a lot of knowledge for the game, so pretty good to check out. Alrighty, so the player states, keep in mind that this is just an example, and the idea behind the suggestion is to make smaller the gap between low and high prosperity fiefs to help the AI in late game while avoiding money inflation late game at the same time. Okay, so here's a proposal over here. Alright, so he did some tests that he was increasing taxes from 30 to 42%. Okay. So then he started increasing starting prosperity for some settlements and changing the tax calculation formula. Okay. So basically, the more taxes, the lower your prosperity would grow, or the slower it would grow. Something of that nature. Okay. So Mexico responded saying, reason behind a nerf is not money inflation. At some lords, there was a money inflation in all of the lords' money. Okay, so it's pretty much saying it wasn't just some inflation that some lords were seeing. It was pretty much the overall economy was seeing a lot of inflation. Then he says, for example, let's say at early game, average lord is 50K. At year 10, 20, 30, average lord money should not be 80K or 100K. We should keep average around 50K. That is true. Okay. So he's saying that the inflation just keeps going up as time goes on. It should stay pretty constant. You know what I mean? There should be, some lords getting richer, some lords, getting poorer, but at the same time, it should be kind of, there should be an average there. Alrighty. I guess for balance, right? Then he says, I do not know how average lord money time graph is at 1.6.1, but I think I left balanced without inflation or deflation, but not sure. Of course, we need to see graph. Okay. Then he says, if some clans go bankrupt in initial years, most of the games, and devs can give 1 to 2 more fiefs to these economically weak clans taken from rich clans so they can give extra 1,000 prosperity to towns. They have, if they want to balance, of making all clans balanced is not something we need badly. That is true. Okay, so what he's saying is obviously they could help it out. They could help the economically weak clans out. You know what I mean, by giving them extra prosperity to the towns that they have. You know, giving them a little bit more fiefs as well. But at the same time, he states that it doesn't have to be completely balanced as well, because then obviously it'll make kind of for stale gameplay if you think about it. Because, you know, having a little diversity, you know what I mean, it does do well. If every clan was doing good, the game would kind of be, everybody would be playing the same way. But, you know, if you have like the different classes and stuff like that, it would be kind of different gameplay, more unique gameplay. Then he says some clans can go bankrupt early, 75% of the game, 75% of the time. That is not that big major problem. I accept it as a problem, but minor. Okay. By the way, if most clans labeled as poor encyclopedia, maybe devs can change labeling limits, like changing poor to average limit from 40k to 50k. Not sure where the limits are at 1.6.1. Okay, so pretty much what he's saying is it's not the biggest deal. It is a problem, but not that big of a problem. I'm guessing, you know, obviously not priority. And then he says, real problem behind money inflation is total prosperity in game world starts with 180k, 55 times 3,200 average of prosperity per town, but it rises to 270k, where the average per town is 4,800. Okay, in 20 years, because of surplus food effect plus built projects, usually prosperity change is positive number, good for player to see progress at his towns, bad for inflations. So total fief income becomes 1.5 in late game. So probably if you try to draw a graph of some of the lords' money, at first it will go down a bit, then rise slowly. If lords have more money, they also they spend also more. So evenly prosperity is 1.5 in late game. I do not think there will be a huge increase at lords' money at 1.6.1, but if devs increase taxes, there can be significant inflation. Prosperity increase can slow down somehow. Maybe devs can add some prosperity sinks, random events, some new quests can reduce prosperity if they are not solved, etc. Okay, so pretty much what he's stating is prosperity, as the in-game time goes on, it will almost always go up. It might slow down in the beginning, but it will always just keep going up. And in late game, inflation is up 1.5. Okay. He states there's some stuff you can do. Obviously, you can do like maybe like a decay of prosperity at some point, a prosperity sink, kind of like, you know what I mean, just like a quick drop. Random events that can cause it, quests that could cause it. And then you can balance it out that way as well. Alrighty, we'll see what they do. You know, there's no confirmation of anything like that. Obviously, we are having tax control, you know, being implemented, where you can kind of like control how much tax, is required from towns, which does increase your loyalty if you tax them less, and decrease your loyalty if you tax them more. But obviously, you know, it will also have I don't know if it's directly, but indirectly changes to prosperity as well as your loyalty goes up and down. Alrighty. This guy has some good graphs all the time. Alright, so this is a 1.6.1 run of 20 years, and then we're going to see the wealth statuses and also the years and all that. So spoiler, year 5. Okay, we got a lot of average and a lot of poor lords, one rich, and very small amount of very poor. Okay, 10 years passes. Anybody taking over the maps yet? Doesn't look like anybody really moved. Like literally. Like there's somebody got this over here. There's some fighting within the empire. But still staying very much the same. Let me see. 51, 3, 51, 18, 1, versus 4, 47, 21, 3. You can see there's a little bit, they are moving a little bit more to each side, as in there's more rich, and now there's more very poor as well. 15 years. Ooh, yeah. The middle is taking a lot more. The outside is still good. Valandia has taken a little bit more as well. And then the very rich actually went down again. Oh, wait. No. There wasn't even a very rich. Okay, so now one became very rich, and more very poor. So they're all just... So from the beginning, it starts off like everybody's in the average to poor section. And then as time goes on, they just split off. Either they go down to the very poor section, or they go up to the very rich section. Hey, this is real life. This is how it is, man. Hey, it's that classic saying, man. The rich get rich and the poor get poor. Hey, that's tough. That's tough. You know, I've talked about it. You know, I feel like a lot of people already know my views about stuff like that. I don't think it's good, man. I don't think it's good, but it is what it is. It's a video game, so it is what it is. Alrighty. 20 years passed. Ooh, they took up there. We got this, what's it called? That's a rebel town. Britannia is out of the whole game, to be honest. That's all they have. And Southern Empire's on the way out, too. And boom, you got way much more very poor. You lost a very rich guy, but obviously the rich still increased. Okay. And then the year 20s, you can see, you know, definitely Valandia got a lot bigger. What's it called? The Azrai got a lot bigger. But it's still like a lot of them are still on the map after year 20, which is good. Wealth statuses, though, I like how you put this graph right here. It does showcase it, really. You know what I mean? Like I said, you start out with a lot of poor and, you know, a good amount of average. Then as the years went on, you can see that you got more rich, but the rise of very poor rises a lot quicker. And kind of, you know, probably not good, but I don't think it's the biggest deal, as the dev stated, but we'll see. Alrighty. Where is the next reply? What is this? Look at this guy. He's going in with these. Okay, hey, shout out to him, bro. Blood Griffin. Hey, he's always been doing this stuff on the forums. Always good information. I have no idea what I'm looking at here, to be honest with you. Plus, I'm really tired. Hey, guys, I'm super tired. I started my new job, if you guys didn't know. And let me just tell you something. It's like a whole... It's a lot of stuff that I gotta learn. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a similar job that I have. I don't want to, like, give away what it is. But, like, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? I got a lot of stuff to learn. And, yeah, I'm trying not to mess up. But alright. I'm guessing this is prosperity of towns and castles. Yeah. Okay. Right. Ooh. Alright, so we got a dev reply as well. So this guy responded to who? Him? Nope. Who did he respond to? I don't even know where that person is. Okay, what does the dev say? The dev says he added this person. He added 2 developers and says they have been looking into recent changes. They identified 3 changes that reduced the income of clans and reverted them on a test branch. Okay. So clans are going to have more income now since they have reversed it. And he says we compared test results with the reductions and without them and decided to revert them because the reverted branch did not showcase a clear inflation trend line in 40-year tests. The results were potentially more volatile than before, potentially because the game can vary notably between playthroughs, but the money does not drop as far as in the current version, nor does it beyond the game start gold value. The reverted branch does much better on clan poverty indicators that we can define for these tests. The reverted branch also does much better on party fullness and troop quality indicators for AI clans. Naturally, we consider this an ongoing process. We will continue to evaluate balance of income and expense for players and AI. Okay, I was about to say. So he does include the changes here because I was about to say, you can't leave me hanging like this, man. You told us what they do. I need to know what they are, but I don't know if I'm gonna figure this out just by. I'm guessing that's what they were called in the code. He states the changes in question are settlement commission rate village. Okay, so I don't know exactly what that means. Fortification tax ratio and get expected looted item value. He says this will be a part of a future patch. Okay, interesting. So settlement commission rate village is how I'm guessing how settlements interact with their villages. I don't know exactly with what, obviously with the commission rate, but I don't know exactly what that is. Then the fortification tax ratio, that might be based on fortification. I have no clue, guys. I'll be honest with you. I need a little bit more information on this. And the get expected looted item value, I'm guessing that's after battles or sieges. How much value you get in looted items. Or maybe it has to do with pillaging as well. Okay. They say the changes should be on live 1.6.1. Alright, so these changes are already in the game. I didn't really see them in the patch notes, but okay. So they're on the live. They're not on the beta currently. And then he says, so by future patch you meant today. And he says, we release the patches pretty much as soon as they pass testing. As long as they haven't passed all required testing, the release is uncertain. Oh, okay, so they probably, okay. So what he's saying is like, it was coming in that patch, but the patch came a lot sooner. He just didn't know if it was going to come out that day, and it just happened to come out the day that he said it. Okay. Then he says, anything included in live is also in beta. Okay, so it's in both patches. All right. So those changes are in both patches, so AI should be getting more income. That is currently in the game. Confirmed. All right. Now they're just talking about whatever they're talking about. Free Britney, you know what I'm saying? You know what time it is. Come on now. You gotta support the movement. What's happened with her? Hold on. Is there any news? Where's the news, man? I heard she got a what's it called? How do you guys feel about that? Is that a controversial topic? I don't even know if that's a controversial topic. I feel like the thing that happened was kind of like, why? You know what I'm saying? But why though? It's a really messed up thing. I don't know if a lot of you guys are actually like up to date with what's happened and all that. There's some pretty good YouTube videos about it. Low key, no cap. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's some good YouTube videos about it. But yeah, Free Britney. You know what time it is. All right, moving on. We got some more tests for 1.6.2. What's the differences? Ooh. So those income changes did have a big effect. As you can see, now what pretty much happens is poor and average is like the kings. And you got some in the rich grow over time, but the very poor. So it's literally just inverted. In 1.6.1, the rich grew at a very small rate compared to the very poor. Now the rich are growing at a much faster rate than the very poor. Okay. Alrighty. Snowball score. Alright. Year 5 versus year 20. What's it looking like? Pretty tame. Not that bad. Alright. Alright, we got Mexico back with another one. And he's talking about the test that we just looked at, okay? He states, after tax ratio is reverted to 0.36 from 0.3 and loot gains reverted, what I see from your tests there seems money inflation again. 1.601, both very poor clans and rich clans are increasing till 20th year. Now 1.612, rich clans are increasing, but there's nearly none very poor clans. Yes, that is true. If you continue your test till 40th year and make 2 to 3 more tests, I think inflation will be more visible. Okay, so he states that, like, you know, no one can really become very poor, and the inflation just keeps going up. Okay. Says, it seems even clans lose half their settlements. They do not become very poor now. This will create problems. As player, it will be hard to harm kingdoms economically. True, that is something you have to look into. And something that I feel like a lot of people feel is kind of like a hard thing to do, you know, throughout the, you know, the whole game's like development. I feel like I agree with it too. It's very hard to kind of hurt an AI financially, because they do have a lot of cheats that they have to use. I'm not against them using, like, you know, cheats to help them, you know, compete with the player. That makes sense. But it gets to that point where you're just like, how many more armies can they really produce after I've taken out so many? You know what I mean? I feel like everyone's thought about that at one point. And I know it's probably hard to actually get it to the right sweet spot where it's like, oh, if you do it like this, you know, then you can really hurt the AI financially and economically. What is this Windows update, man? You know what time it is? Okay. What does it states? Players hostile actions like raiding or capturing settlement destroying caravans / villagers will have less effect on rivals' economy and strength. It feels like I said, it feels kind of like it's still very hard to do. I don't think it's come a little bit like in the way of, you know, making it kind of feel like you're doing a lot of economic damage. It still doesn't feel that way though. I feel like there should be like definitive ways to, like, you know, really do damage. He states they will still continue recruiting in normal development without problem. It will be hard to find very poor clans, so recruiting clans to your kingdom will be hard, and most clans will directly reject players' offer. That is true. If they're doing very good in their kingdom and they're not very poor, you know what I mean? If they're just, you know, always getting richer, that will increase relationship, that will increase everything, and that will increase their chances of not wanting to join you because, hey, they got rich in this kingdom. What can you offer them? A lot of money. And then it just becomes like, you know, are you really willing to offer or to give like millions and millions for this person to join you? So I can see what that problem is. He says money inflation is dangerous and it will harm gameplay. This can even reduce number of active players at single player and long term because gameplay will be affected badly. True. Okay. And he says best solution. Okay. Was not reverting changes but finding which clans always goes into poverty with a detailed analysis by running game 10 to 20 times. Also, he's against reverting the changes. Okay. And collecting money. Well, yeah, of course, because he said it here that, you know, it caused problems. Okay. And collecting money data for each clan and give mostly poor clans at these samples runs one more settlement. Take it from someone mostly have no money problems or increasing prosperity of settlements of these poor clans. If these poor clans are mostly king clans, there should be an examination of why kings lose more money than others. He's just saying, for example, it could be related to tributes. King clans have bigger expenses, having bigger leader party, having more clan parties, they pay more to tributes so they can. So they should start game with more settlements compared to others. Okay, so you're just saying, you know, obviously the rulers of each kingdom, they have more expenses, and if they are the ones becoming very poor, then obviously that needs to get changed, or something needs to happen, or they need to get some kind of, you know, money cheat to kind of, you know, stay in the game. Then it says maybe still they start with more, but not enough. Also giving Canes extra 100 to 200k cash at game start can save them at early game financial problems. There is another potential solution. If root of problem, why always same clans have financial problems, could not be understood. Even giving some small cheat like 500 daily to king clans, okay, are okay in my opinion, but last choice solution. All right, I agree. I am tired. No, I can't even lie to you. But okay, I agree. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they change the revert actually back, and see if they follow what he says, or if they have something else in mind. This is reverting something easy, but it will not solve root of problem. It will create new problems. Okay, so it's short term, not long term. You heard it here first. Oh, we got devs replying. Okay, to previous devs. Okay. So the developer says the changes that sought to balance clan gold over inflation after 20 years of play caused clear and obvious issues during the first 5 years of play in any case. He states, naturally, we will consider this an ongoing process. Okay, so he's just saying that, while they made this change, this is still an ongoing process. Okay. He's talking about the test. And then we got a 1.3.6, please. And then he states it may or may not be in that version. Wait a minute. Is this a tease, something that's gonna happen? Because the player states, I've been holding off on a longer playthrough until AI versus AI simulated death. 1.6.3, please. AI versus AI simulated death. Oh, kind of like where they can, when they do battles versus each other, they can also die. That would change the world very dramatically. And also, you would have to kind of, you would really have to get to the right point because, you might get very unlucky where, like, you start the game and only, like, half a year into the game, you know what I mean? Like, which isn't a lot of time. It sounds like a lot of time. But, you know what I mean? All the leaders just die. Like, what if you roll the whatever percent it is for each one? It could happen, low key. There would have to be a lot of safeguards for that, but could it be 1.6.3? The dev says it may or may not be in that version with a smiley. Okay. You heard it here first. Unconfirmed, but teased. Alrighty. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie to you. Still a little bit more. I am probably going to continue it in another one. Only because I'm very tired. And it's very late. I got work in the morning. You know what time it is. Gotta go live, the worker life. You know what time it is. Okay. Yeah, have a good one. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next one.